Chiraninde nangwe chegenze, dojo tengen domla chade. Kanje shendo tode rinpoche, ninje tardo deme shindama. Shiwa todang toge lobenzo, pawe lobenzo la chedo. Tsera gendo seje danyele, tabge dome chage yongzon. Chanjo nimbe lamge karma bo, miche tebe che zodai. Ome chenge inge bodane, dedo sanje kinge ngo nye, rangzem che koro ngen zon tenzema, tawe lame jala kechan, tazan roe lo na che Lüjen günge jadane, şindang ödere namnyen, namka lejan çegen da, cimne ceva jon jara. Dada semjen damjen, lo che so dora jinge labdo de, che lamdo dora jinge labdo. Lam chulba zalora jinge labdo de, chulba yishe so jarora jinge labdo. 다는 정말 다시 될수에 던 첩지도 근데 semjen 탐지게도 도배 상지 고방 도고유 대체도 최닝기에 냠배 삼바자체와 창조 sem기도 농원도 당내 되는지체
다시 dele everyone, please listen the Dharma with the vast motivation of bodhicitta, thinking that I would like to become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings.
데네다 그런서 제 다 도정린 나네 다당 리우 당보 배나서 때문에 리우 나네 다 배숨 공도성이다 대린 배 시와디 네마 쉐인.
So we are going to continue the sutra of the wise and foolish, and the first chapter, which is the chapter of presenting various metaphors, and then out of that we have already completed three histories or three metaphors, and today we are going to talk on the fourth one.
다신양은 대비두 결바 체매 장매비 치를 남 전부링들을 절보 창라 셰기월라 절첩 담마감 셰기워식 치대 더 절첩스나 세리도디 제부기 세 치대 절부대 담비 철라 가신 매베 제부기 세디브드는 철라베 가보여 매바치 뭐여 담배 최초군도 쩔나야 마녀네 내 인나양 되네 최 난겐 라마 최슈서 라마 되네 쩔네 되네 가바츠네야 마녀 바래 냥행이 동대 이 무버 줄발레 되네 코 냥행 셈바존네 데비기 값이라 최 마톱네 셈바존네 주베 값들라 대체나 자진 하이왕베 디 삼바 신도 똑신 세베 담세식도 줄데 젤부 포장기 고로 홍네 담배 최달라 유대 담바르 조 시엠네바 젤부 테네 치르네 수데 광발라 차제네 포장기 농도 티데 땡땡월라 샤고 데네 하이왕바 제진데 제보디 데네 최되바 라메바 데바 유베기 신도네 담세식도 줄네 데네 젤베 포장기 고로네 담배 최응할라 유 데네 최슈겐이나 예식이 데네 간도 라이왕바 제진 담세디기 데네 셰바는 대셰바나 젤베 퇴반네 디더 퇴바점기 베이간의 실현의 수대 강발을 차지네 포장기 나온도 티네 되네 된 덤베기 된도 되네 샤바레 되는
The fourth history began like again the gods of Brahma said to Buddha, Bhagavan, inconceivable countless eons ago, there was a king in this Jambudvipa, a king called Brahma Deva or Changbala Brahma Deva, and he had a prince, crown prince, who was called the Dagama. And this crown prince was very much devoted to Dharma, and he desired Dharma a lot, and he searched for Dharma to all directions. But somehow he could not find any Dharma. No matter how much he searched, how hard he searched. And not finding the Dharma, he became very unhappy, and he was kind of depressed. And at that time, the king of God, Indra, realizing the mind of this crown prince, he himself transformed him into a form of Brahma, and he came to the palace gate, or at the gate of the palace. And then he said, I have Dharma, and I can teach the Dharma. Then, hearing this, Brahma saying this, the prince greeted him from outside, and he invited inside the palace. He prostrated to the Brahma's feet, and then Brahma was put on the seat that was arranged from him.
자고 되네 젤비 텔모 자르데 덤바 쳔보 톡세웨레도 담베체 텐도 설 셴레바당 되네 덤바 쳔보다 톡세와 침베체 나오로치 센다 최기 콜로콜로 쏠란다 바님 바당 잠세므레바 다 잠세디 가리라 바레스나 랍징 로바양 신도 깔라 세다 최디 레러부 되네 시투야던 레러부 토비야 요 말에 신도네 되네 강을 침묵이 돈네 되네 롭종 침묵이 돈네 되네 배저 침묵이 돈네 롭고요래 로벤 예르싱 셰바르 줄바양 라와 마인베 대점기 초과를 진대 최도벌 되버네 리바 마이노zem 되네 로벤 예르싱 셰바르 줄바양 라와 마인네 다 로벤 최 남긴 로벤 대양 되네 레로부 토베야 요 말에 되이더래 대인장 되네 처랑 대장기 레로부지는 최세로 시세가 되기 되게 말이 되네 잠재비는 말은 다 줌센이래도 당보 계획신인 토베야를 레로부 메깔레가보에 계획신인 다 제네 최 롭종 셰야를 되네 롭종 되녀제달라 레로부 메깔레가보에 줌센 되니라 되네 강도 최 시초초 레로부요 말이 되네 리바 마이노 젤부므레바 덤바 쳔보 지당 지도바 송시당 다기 류당 충마당 부부버도 시나양 탐제라 미황대 가신도 기오 덤바 쳔바 쳔랑 가레 독대 되바 예나양 송로 지니 류당 마테베다 충마당 부 게바도 되네 가리당 가리 되나양 게 표기 저런 게 가신도 표기 되네 다 슈번 네 잠샘네 봐 갈데 메동 섭수 추주비 능 메모르기 깡라 디낭도 총대 최바제나 담배 출된도제 데네 담세 가래라 바래잖아 동 섭수 마추주 유베기 능 데레직소 고 디낭도 메마모르기 데네 깡 메마모르세나 다 메디 텔라마르보데로 메모르기 깡라 디낭도 처럼 총네 데네 류디 멜라상네 최바 표tum나 데네 최식이 데네 잠세디 된들라 바네 셈레바다.
And after inviting this Brahmin in the palace and putting on the seat which was arranged from him, then the prince, with Anjali Mudra, putting his palm together, then he requires the Brahmin, saying that, "Great teacher, with your compassionate mind, please teach me Dharma." When the prince requested this, then the Brahmin says, "It is not easy to find a teacher at the first time, and even if you find a teacher, it is not really easy to learn this kind of Dharma. Therefore, just buying this much you are asking for Dharma is not really enough, not really good enough, not sufficient." Then the prince says to the Brahmin, he says, "Okay, great teacher, whatever you wish, just let me know. I will do just as you wish, just as your order. Even I'm ready to offer my own body, my wife's, my son and daughter, and so forth, if you want them." Then the Brahman says, "If you can dig a fire pit or fire dungeon hole, 10 cubit deep, and which is full of the fire kind of coals, COAL, coals, and if you can do offering by jumping into that fire, then I will teach you the Dharma."
데네 셈레바당 디제나 젤부 르벤기 룽신도 메동침보 제소 데네 잠세디기 까신도 데네 제세디기 데네 메동 주바레 되다 추주위기 제비기 메동 데네 젤보동 준모동 lum보동 포장기 레기 대답으로 줄바 덕되네 류동 셈 미대월 줄데 탐제 젤베 포장도 학내 젤볼러영 솔원 답방 데네 젤보 당다 펜제를 그런 게 옆 제보디 말이야. 제보당 준모당 lum보당 포장기 레기 다 포장나라 예비 콜 탐제기 대답을 줄보다 퇴네 디 계좌디 퇴바당 셈 미대월 줄데 탐제 젤부 포장도 학내 젤불러 영 솔완 답바 되네 제부기 세들라다 메동나 마총으로 치스네 소한다반 잠세델라양 꾼기 nengi korne 준보 독서월 공대 다우자기 레도 젤부디 메동도 총 최바 미제도 설 데네 잠세델라양 데네 독서와 침모 공내 데네 나서 방 미세릭 탐제기 제도라드네 젤부디 메동나라 최바 메제르 만나로치 되네 소한다반 코럼 율럼 충멈 부폼 다오자기 류시나야 불로세 데네다 젤세 디 마이마신 가서 코르나네 데네 다 미되나야리 율 사시 율강 되나야리 충멈 부포 데네 가리 강당 강 되바 유나양 데네 셰로치 가서 표기 데네 소란다 발레 셰 소라당 잠세 메바 다기 nengi 미저 룽원이 메기 젤부 지삼바 세데 데네 말라 인지민지 고야 요 말이 이나야 제보 고란기 다 공시 가려요나 대답도 제나 되기래 되네 다 점세되기 때문에 갈데 대다른 누나니 최tem바라 양 잘라 미니나니 최장 미딘도 셈내서 다 철랑 속에서 라바나신 제보디 강조 메동나 마숑와 되네잖아 최요 말에 말라 강조 최바 메나에 디게리 코랑을 최라게 말해서 이래도 되네 다 게 라바나신 제보 제세 코랑기 삼바나신 다 메동나 촌에 최바베나 되네 최라게리 최용거리 다 돈도 디시 말해도 셈내서 갈제 대달 니나네 최 템바라 양 잘라 미니나네 최자 미덴도 셈내서
And after the Brahmin said that, then the crown prince, the prince, dig the hole under the ground, which is the fire pit, just as instructed by the master, which was Brahmin. And then the king and the queen, the father of that crown prince, and then queen and all the minister and all the attendant of the palace, when they heard this news, they become very sad and some with the lunacy, and also they become sick, and they all came to the palace, and they requested the prince not to conduct this kind of things, and they surrounded the Brahmin, the master, and then they requested the master, and then they requested the Brahmin, saying that with great compassion for us, please don't let the prince in this kind of conduct. And don't make the prince jump into the fire pit. And then they said, whatever you want, if you want queens, if you want daughter, son, or even our bodies, we are ready to offer you. But please don't make the prince jump into the fire pit. When the Brahmin was requested like that by the king, queen, minister, and all the attendant of palace, then the Brahmin says, I don't need anything. I don't think and also I'm not forcing him to do so. It is up to him. It is up to the prince. But if he can do this, then I will teach the Dharma. If he doesn't do that, I don't teach the Dharma, but I don't need anything. Then,
코른 남기장 디 담자와 땜바르 시신 동네 장 미마오 대제 제배장 번야직 랑보치 닌직러 장적 제동도 도와식러 쩐디 점벌린 군도 땅내 제섭 담마감 다데 샤ꯛ 듄나 최대 비칠 매동도 총기 케 통월 되나 뉴도 속지 제고 고 대체나 절텐당 미몽보 계신 냠충과 đạo 장직이 직티데 제르 태돌 학내 부모 살라 쪽대 텔모절네 탐지기 직tum바를 디게제면서 đạo 장내 제르 코나라 땐데 đạo 자기 파마당 저와 그 매동도 총나 방 디덕 탐제라 근잡당 네 매발 줄기 미 거점기 치를 방 탐지기 뿡니 매발 마대지 에네다 솔란데 바르노 데네 젤부 미 몽보 데달라 디게제고 나니 윤링보네 코르와나 류정메바시 표발 줄데 미 농도 깨와나 되베 촉미시비 찍을 찍세신 수발 줄도 토리기 하르게와나 하이 체세비 되바당들이 두멜 용어 셈제니얼와르게와나 메르 찍바당 세수 상수 꼴와당 렐지당 천제니얼신 뚜바당 두비 출러 복바당 렐지 솔라 잭징 인지글량 체표바 장메바시 용데 나와당 치위 두멜 르발라 투바 제기 밀랑바시 용어 이덕수 깨왔나 양 류기 미스비 두멜 남바 나종 용어 두주의 깨네수니 류니티 취선도 줄데 칼 지와 깔네 잘레 미사위 두멜 쇠가와 용네 류당 속 취선장 담배 취기 지를 계획심 중세 삼양 게 만용외 다니 류 쪽바 맨반 다니 다리 류된 딜러 류 쪽바 맨바 디 취기 질 취바 제기 다기 라나메베 장주도 셈기비 버도 줘바 버치 게레 마제지 그네 나송마는 다음에 상제수 두비칠 류디 용수 동대 남문바라 상제네 켈라 취기구 에짐바자오스 나송만 셰메바당 코르몽보양 장미묘워 줄도 대체나 절부 매동기 카르 쟁네 잠셀라 디게제 솔돈 뜸바 첨보 다올랑아르 담배취 뜬지 갈데 체 버치드 줄나 최 밑에서 셰 솔도
And when the Brahmin said that, I don't need anything, but if the prince can do what I have said, then I'll teach the Dharma. If he cannot do that, then I will not teach the Dharma. And at that time, realizing the determination of the Brahma, that all people become silent and they cannot request anything furthermore. And the king sent out a messenger on an elephant that can travel many hundreds, thousands of yojana in one day, and he make an announcement all over the Jambudvipa saying that from now, within 7 days, the crown prince Dharmachakra will jump into the fire pit in order to receive Dharma. So whoever wants to see that, come here. So come here soon, come here first. So at that time, when this announcement was made, then all the sub-kingdoms and all the subjects, even the very old and very weak, they helped each other and all approach to the prince. And then they kneeling down of their right knee, and then with the Anjali Mudra, in one word, they requested the prince, saying that we all depend on you, Crown Prince. You are like our parents. If you jump into the fire pit, and then we all this subject become we all this subject will have no more protector, going up and helper. Therefore, why just for some people you want to give up all these subject people? So therefore, please don't do this. What you are going to do right now. But the prince, then, when he was requested by these people, the Crown Prince replied in this way. He said, I have been wandering in samsara for long time. And also, I have already attained countless bodies, and I have lost them. When I was born in the human realm, I was never content with my desire, and we all killed each other. When I was born in the higher realm of Deva, when the lifespan of Deva was exhausted, again, and then again, I was suffer a lot. When I was born in the hell realm, then I was burned, and I was cooked into the big fire cooking pot, and I was cut with the sword and the different kind of weapons, and then I had to go through the river of poison, and then also I had to climb the mountain of sword and so forth. And then I have to die many times, even in one day, and so forth. Now, and then I had countless unbearable suffering. When I was born into the hungry ghost realm or pretas, and then I had unbearable various suffering. When I was born into the animal realms, and then I was given a burden which I could not carry, and so forth. In short, I have wasted so many time with so many kind of different kind of suffering, but I have never had a virtuous mind. Never had. Now, this unpure and inferior body is being used to make offering to get dharma. I'm making this unpure and inferior body as an offering to get the dharma. So please don't disturb me. Don't disturb me that I am engendering unsurpassable bodhicitta. I am giving up this body in order to accomplish Buddhahood and in order to attain Buddhahood. So when I become perfect Buddha, I will give you Dharmakaya.
Jambi semne gombara ja shedang chowi dushe bang ningje chenbe semjen job gunla ningze chima zak gawa chenbo gombara ja shenlang daodang tunbi che jangcho semgi jabani jangcho sembi jubar ten dati cheme shidang jangcho ge sem gomel redo di da jeme dendola dene mazo kazana shin deshi jamne gomjabe.
So when the prince replied in this way, all the retinue who were requesting him become silent, and they have no further word. Then the prince was about to jump into the fire pit, but before he jumped into the fire pit, standing on the edge of the fire pit, he told to the Brahmin, the prince standing on the edge of the fire pit, he asked the Brahman, says, "Great teacher, please teach me Dharma first, because if I jump into the fire pit first, if I die, then I will not get the Dharma. Therefore, please teach me the Dharma first." Then when the Brahma was requested by the prince this way, then the Brahma said the following 1.5 stanzas. Maybe I will read this translation a little bit different, then also I will do my own one. Okay, it says, meditate on thought of love, cut off thoughts of anger and hatred. In great compassion, aid beings, mercifully forgive all. Meditate on the great joy, be in harmony with others. When with the mind of enlightenment one teaches the Dharma, the Bodhisattva course is realized. Okay, this is the translation from this book, and according to Tibetan, I kind of understand a little differently, so I'm going to translate my own one. So it says, Khenpo Samne Gomparcha means habituated yourself with a loving thought, loving kindness. Because gom, if you have sak up the gom, that is meditation. It doesn't have sa. So only kanaro goma gom, gomasu gom, which means to make oneself habituate. So it says, habituated yourself with the mind of loving kindness. Shetang Tuben Dushepang. And the notion of being angry and hated, give up that. Or you say, give up the notion of hatred and anger. In simple simple. And the next slide it says, protect beings with a great compassion. In Khenpo Sangye Trinley means protect sentient beings with great compassion. Kunla inze chimasa. This is an interesting word. Anyway, it says, shed tears of compassion for all. Literally it means shed tears of compassion for all. And the next line is Gawa Khenpo Gomparche. Again, it says, habituate yourself with a great joy. Shenlan Datan Tumbichu. Changju Semki Gyabani Sangju Chembe Chobrde. And to protect others just like yourself with the bodhicitta is what the bodhisattva's conduct is. So this is actually teaching on the bodhicitta and the conduct of bodhisattva. So this the sixth line. This is a sixth line. Sixth line. We will come back again next week, just like before, and we not just teaching. Also, we do some practice on this sixth line next week.
식수 제바 디덕 메마 탁도 매동도 총발레 제진당 창비 절보 다 창비기 제보 라과 이야레레네 신데 디게 제메소 점불링기 다 제진당 창반이기 때문에 남칼레 법네 되네 라과 예윤이레레 신네 되네 되네 슈버레 제벌 점불링기 도와 탐제니 절보 케기 까딩기 미디위 박메나 다 매동도 총나 방 탐제기 파마 세페바당 자웨 지질 도와 탐제 용수 당대 매동도 총 셈레바당 되네 성바당 제진이게 라고 예윤이니 레레네 중네 되네 점물링기 도와 탐제 제보 쾌랑기 같은 라 때네 창마 then bak kumba debo kibu jene degiore 다 체랑 매동도 총나 방 탐지기 파마 종바당 저와 차바래 지지 저와 탐지 용수 르당내 매동도 매낭나 총기 유드메바당 제일부대 사이 절보당 코르 몽볼라 때데 케기 덕 라나메베 장조도 셈게베 버도 주베 레 마제지 제메바당 계란 속에 가 되네 라나메베 장주 조배 상지 고방 도배기 지도 셈게바 데라 저랑동알라 바르제마제로지 되네 송만 탐제 장 미므라와당 되네 장망 되네 강양 셰마버바 차고 대마타도 매동도 청소 대세나 남사 랍도 유대 바르난게 하다장 무니 치마 차신도 바보 무비 치마 차바시는 거 매동대야 매도기 증벌 줄데 매동되는 매도기 증벌 줄은 다 증벌세도 추당 제비 매도는 추당 냠벌 예비 증벌 잔들어 줄데 젤보대야 빼미 땡나 두벌 줄네 제보네 되네 매도 빼미기 땡나 슈 뭐든지 차원은 랑신기 거나 줄네 하남기 매도기 차를 뿜어 누바 잠도 바보 되네 땡네 하 창백일 하 되조리 되네 매도기 차를 범네 되네 뿜어 발달라 되네 누비하기 되네 다 피디니 숨잠지 되네 바보는 바보 대세 대두나 절보 창란니 절보 얍 세장 락소 세장만 락소 대두나 대만이 다데 윰주말 하제 락소 대세 대두나 절보 제삽 담마감식인 데니 좀 된데 체랑레 락데 좀 된데기 대세 대두나양 조와 망보 잡베레도 최기 쳐도 되는 저랑 깔리던데 잡아래 젤나요 다 용서 조버 줄나 다 깔리 잡베기 대부 민네 최 담제 용서 조버 줄나 지레도 신도 동버 줄비 셈제 망보라 최기 처럼 민베 버는 양엘레 다워고
근데 당보드 케디 라 창바를 송상 코나 옆도 말아 옆들 창바를 할락도 나 근데 당보드 야진의 상바스기네 키다기 라 창바를 송상데 근데 옆도 말아 말해 라 창바를 봐 So right after this sixth line was spoken by the Brahmin, then the crown prince jumped into the fire pit. And when he jumped, the Indra and the Brahma hold each of his hand before letting him into the fire pit. Then they asked the king, the prince, all these people of Jambudvipa are very happy right now because of your kindness, because of your then why are you jumping into the fire pit? If you jumped into the fire pit, then all these subjects become like someone who is separated from their parent. Why you want to give up all these beings, and why you want to jump into the fire pit? At that time, the prince said, looking at the king of Deva and all the retinue, he said, don't disturb me. Don't do the action of that will disturb my unsurpassable bodhicitta. When the prince replied in that way, then everyone become silent again. Then the prince jumped into the fire pit. At that time, the earth and the space shook. Shook very much, and all the devas from the space wept, and then their tear of weeping become like a rain on the earth. But at that time, the fire pit transformed into the pond of flower. It says pond of flower. Then Khenpo said a pond of water, of course, and which is filled with a different kind of flower. And then everybody saw the prince was sitting on a lotus flower inside the pond of the flower. And then all the devas descended a rain of flower, and then on the earth, flower become about 2 or 3 feet higher. It says until your knee, until you sink until your knee. So anyway, and then when this was happening, then the god of Deva, the Brahma Rim says to the Bhagavan, Buddha, at that time, the king Brahma Deva was actually your father, who is the king Shuddhodana right now. And at that time, the mother of that prince is your mother right now, who is Maya Devi. And then at that time, the king, the prince who was jumping into fire was you yourself, Buddha Shakyamuni. So actually in the past, you had gone through so much hardship in order to benefit many sentient beings. Now you have all completed, which means because of conducting all this kind of bodhisattva conduct, now you become Buddha. Then why? Now you want to go into parinirvana without helping these sentient beings who are like blind, without teaching Dharma to these people. Why you want to go to parinirvana? So this actually related to the very beginning of our story, because Buddha was right after he became enlightened. Without teaching, he was thinking of going into parinirvana. So this got very back to that. So here actually completed the 4th story, and also time is also completed. We are for 8:50. So now we're going to do the Sakyanya Dharma practice. Oho ma nam kha na nya be sim je tam je lama sangye rinpo shala gyabson cho sangye shudan gende nam la gyabson cho lama yedang khandro so la gyabson cho rasen dong san shuge go la gyabson che o ma nam kha da nya be sim je tam je lama sangye rinpo shala gyabson cho sangye shudan gende nam la gyabson cho lama yedang khandro so la gyabson cho Rangsen Dongsan Shugye Golan Gyabson Che Woya Maya Namkha Da Nyambe Sanjen Lama Sangye Rinpo Jalan Gyabson Che Sangye Shudan Gende Namlan Gyabson Che Lama Yedam Khandro Zolan Gyabson Che Rangsen Dongsan Shugye Golan Gyabson Che Wo Man Be Mo 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 Man
Oh
Jong So Me No Do Da Len De Lo Wa Me Be De Do Ge Mo Wa Ya Mo Ya La Da Se Do Ba Ra Sho Lama Gun Jo Som Ge Do Je Da Kan Do Je Jong So Me No Do Da Len De Lo Wa Me Be De Do Ge Ngo Ma La Da Se Do Ba Ra Sho.
Long life prayer of His Holiness and two more stanzas that His Holiness recited, then our usual dedication. Hoi Jal Gun Ni Je Rang So Karma Ba Jal Gun Trinley Ji Do Karma Jal Gun Dun So Wan Gun Karma Ugyen Tenzin Sha De So Si Xi Ban Jur Ma Lu Jung Wei Tu Be Den Ba Yu Rin Ne Ba Tenzin Chi Be Ge Wo Ya Tam Ban Ban Ju Yi Ge Yun Ren Sha De So Chung A Qian Bo Zha Yi Ne Tung A Sam Jian Ta Ge Gal Ba Che Wa Sam Ye Shu Dun Zi Jin Shu Yu Ji. Now our usual dedication and the auspicious verses. Hoi So Nam De Ye Tam Je Se Ba Nye Tom Ne Ye Be Ra Na Ya Pam Je Ge Ga Na Je Pa La Ya Tru Ba Se Be So La Ya Tru Wan Tru Wa Ra Shu Jam Pa La Ba Wa Che Tra Khen Pa Da Kun Do Sang Bo Te Ya Te Shin Te Da Kun Ge Je So Da Lo Ge Wa Te Da Tham Je Ra Do Mo Sang Ge Gu Sum Nye Be Shin La Da Chi Nye Mi Ju Ra De Be Shin La Gen De Mi Che De Be Shin La Chi Tra Ngo Wa Mo Lo Ru Ba Ra Shu Du Shi Le Ja Ja Be Ten Le Karma Ya Ba Den Den Be Nyen Bo Den So Tra Gu Ja Chap Je Ge Me Ta Ba Ram Pe Pe Be Ra Shi Yu